Welcome to Around the House. Today we're going to put brake rotors on a 2016 Chevy Colorado. Please subscribe and share my video. Okay, once you get the wheel off, you're going to take off these retaining clips. There's one for the top pin, and make sure you put them in a box or somewhere safe because they're small and easy to lose. And then you're going to take off the bottom one and you're going to do the same thing. These pins here have a lot of miles on this truck, so they're very hard to get out. So using a dead blow mallet and a punch to push out the pin. And I'm going to show you from a different angle the same step. Once I get these out, then I'll clean and lubricate the pins. Hopefully you grab the needle nose and pull them out. They're so rusty. But I'll clean them up and they'll slide right in, you'll see. I am using these screwdrivers to pry the piston back into the caliper, and I'm only using the screwdrivers because it's a little bit quicker to do it this way, only because I am going to be changing the rotor as well. But if I wasn't changing the rotor, I wouldn't want to destroy the rotor using the screwdrivers, so I would remove the caliper with the two 18mm bolts, which I'll show you in a minute, and then I would pull out the caliper off the rotor, and then I would use a C-clamp to push in each piston. And there's two pistons on each side of this caliper, just like a Z71. Wow, it's tight. Once I took out these two 18mm bolts, I confirmed that they were the same length, and they were, so either bolt will go into either position. This caliper needs cleaned up a lot, and the brake shoes do not slide in this caliper very well. So once I get the caliper off the rotor, I'm going to pry the brake pads out, and then I'll go ahead and clean the caliper and lubricate the caliper and the new brake pad that I'm going to be putting in. On the rotor, there is one T30 screw. I use a small impact to remove that T30 screw, and then I set that aside with my clips so I don't lose it. And then I get my dead blow hammer and I'll hit on the rotor, and then I'll spin the rotor until it pops off. So all this rust on the sleeve here, I will get a drill with the wire wheel. I'll clean it up as much as I can, and then the outer rim of the where the studs are, I'll just clean off the flakes of the rust just to clean it up a little bit. And then once it's cleaned up, then I'll lubricate it with some brake grease. When installing the new rotor, be sure to find the mounting hole for the T30 screw, line that up, slide the rotor on. I tried to use my fingers on the screw, but the edges were a little bit sharp, so I used the T30 bit, and I used that to tighten up the screw finger tight, and then I used my little impact gun to tighten up the rotor. It doesn't have to be too tight, but you don't want it to back out. The wheel, when the wheel is on the rotor, that will hold the rotor in place. My arm is in the way here, but what I'm doing is putting the pins through one of the pads, and I just want to make sure that it's in line so it goes all the way from end to end without too much issue. And then once I get that lined up, then I'll insert the other pad. And the pad to the left is just a regular pad where the mounting bolts are, and then the back pad to the right has the feelers. Uh, so whenever your pads wear out, they would grind on the rotor, so you know when it's too late to change your pads. Don't forget to turn the pins so you could get the retaining clip back in.